Good afternoon. This is the weekly weather briefing starting on November 21st, 2024 for the week ahead from the National Weather Service in Peachtree City, Atlanta. Looking ahead to the next week, we don't really have any major weather related concerns through Wednesday. Today, it'll be dry, cool, and breezy. The same can be said for Friday as well tomorrow. Overnight tonight, we could have some snow flurries in the mountains of North Georgia, not accumulating, just some flurries possible up there. But most of the snow flurries and anything more than that will be happening farther north in the Appalachians. We'll have a gradual warming trend as we head into early next week. And then we'll be watching for our next rain producing system to arrive early to middle of next week, where rain showers will become increasingly likely across portions of North Georgia. Today and tonight, here is a look at geocolor satellite imagery showing pretty much crystal clear skies out there today with all the cloud cover either to our north or to our south at this time. However, in the weather map on the right, you can see the broad, expansive area of some low pressure and some precip associated with that across the Great Lakes region into the Northeast and down through the Appalachians. So you can see there where that blue colored or purple colored polygon barely clips the southern Appalachians just north of Georgia. So that's indicating that possibility of where snow flurries would be occurring. 7-day temperature outlook, cool for the next few days, then a gradual warming trend heading into next week. We can really see that with our high temperature forecast on the left, and then on the right is our low temperature forecast. So as those colors on the tables kind of move from the blues into the greens in the minimum temperature forecast on the right, and more of the light greens and yellows in that table on the left, we start to see highs becoming more so in the 60s and 70s into early next week, with lows becoming more so in the 40s and 50s. That said, for the next couple of days at least, so we're talking tonight into the weekend, Friday as well into the weekend, we'll have the potential for widespread freezing temperatures, which we haven't really quite seen yet this season. And on top of that, once we start to see our gusty winds die down heading into tomorrow night and the weekend, patchy frost will also be possible during the overnight and early morning periods as well. As far as precip goes, the next 7 days look to bring the bulk of the rainfall you're seeing there on the left, likely occurring on days 5 through 7. So that'll be Monday through Wednesday, as a cold front is forecast to arrive on the general Tuesday timeframe as we get a broader area of low pressure moving across the eastern U.S. As far as rainfall totals, these will definitely be changing between now and then, but it looks like North Georgia will get the bulk of the rainfall, with current rainfall totals ranging from anywhere of a trace amount to maybe approaching an inch in the far northern tier of the state. As far as the drought monitor goes, not a whole lot of change from the map last week. That was officially November 12th. That was the previous outlook. The current outlook, released on the 19th, really showed very little improvement besides a portion of northwest Georgia going from moderate drought to abnormally dry conditions. That is an improvement of one class or one category. And we can see that here in the footprint of our rainfall totals from that rain event we had Tuesday morning through Wednesday evening of this week. Again, there's that same area of northwest Georgia where we saw one category improvement in drought conditions, and that area in general was actually the winner for some of the greatest rainfall totals from that rain event, with 2 to 3 inches. Even locally, greater totals having fallen there, where some heavier and more persistent rain occurred. And as far as the tropics go, not a whole lot to talk about. Currently, National Hurricane Center is not showing any tropical cyclone activity expected during the next 7 days. And this generally makes sense as we see on the right that we are nearing the end of November, heading into early December, and we are on that downward swing of tropical activity, climatologically speaking. So we are seeing basically the end of that climatological hurricane season coming soon. So we'll keep you updated, of course. Uh, Typical trends don't mean that we won't have any more tropical activity. It's just looking increasingly less likely that we will have additional development as we head into a time of the year where tropical development overall isn't quite as favorable. And for anyone curious about what early December holds, these are the days 8 through 14 outlooks for temperature and precipitation. For temperature, there on the left, indications by the Climate Prediction Center are that we will be leaning below normal overall with temperatures, especially in North Georgia, with near normal temperatures expected across central Georgia. On the right, we have precip leaning above normal across all of Georgia. So, indications are that we could have continued periods of raininess or storminess through early December. That's all we have for this week's weather briefing. Again, pretty quiet conditions prevailing, but did want to bring up a couple of points like patchy frost possible each overnight period this evening, Thursday evening through the weekend overnight period as well. Additionally, some possibility there for pretty widespread freezing temperatures, in many cases, the first of the season. And looking ahead to next week, looks like early in the middle of the week, we'll have our next cold front and low pressure system that'll bring us some rain. Otherwise, between now and then, if you need us or have any questions or concerns, our contact info is here on the screen. And with that, thanks for listening, and we will talk to you guys again next week.